Today's guest began to make changes with what she put in, on, and around her, and used this approach with clients to improve health, sometimes even eliminating the need for prescribed medications. Dr. LaFarra Young is here today to talk about how she healed and in healing her autoimmune disease led her down the path to her luxury clean beauty business. You're going to get to hear all about it right here on the Sharvette Mitchell radio show after this quick intro.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the world wide web. Listen, we are super excited to have all of you tuning in for the live broadcast. Hey there, Facebook, 3 different places in Facebook. Hey there, YouTube. Listen, we see you hanging in there already coming in from YouTube, from LinkedIn, from, let's see here, everywhere, all around the World Wide Web, Sharvette.com. Certainly those that are checking this out. Hey there, thank you so much for the happy birthday wishes that we see coming on in. Yes, if you follow me on social media, you know that I celebrated a milestone birthday this past weekend. So if you don't know, look on my pages after the show, of course, after the show. And then certainly we appreciate all those, again, that are going to be checking this out in all of the podcast platforms and on Blog Talk Radio. We are excited. We are excited to be here and see you again, all coming on in. Hey there, Sherry. Thank you so much for being here. We are excited. We are excited to have you. Listen, this is an episode that you want to share out. Go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and hit that share button. And we're going to jump right on into things. Now, of course, this segment is brought to you by my upcoming pop-up conference for women entrepreneurs that's taking place here in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, live in person, November 4th, which is for our VIPs, and that is sold out. But November 5th and 6th, we have registration available for you. So register. And I'm telling you what, you want to do that before October 12th because registration closes out October 12th. So you can jump over to heygirlhey.biz. That's right, heygirlhey.biz, and get everything that you need and find out all about our speakers and our session topics and all the things. And I want to see you at the 6th annual pop-up conference for women entrepreneurs. All right, there you have it. Again, welcome to all of those that are popping on in. Our guest is hanging out in the virtual studio. I'm bringing her up to the mic momentarily. Hello, Dr. Jackie. Thank you for being here. Hello, Carlethia. Thank you for being here. Listen, my mom is here. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for being here. You can't do it without your mom, right? All right, so let's go ahead and tell you a little bit about our guest, and we are going to chat today. I'm super excited to have Dr. LaFarra Young is with us. She is a triple board certified physician and founder of LaFarra Co, which is a wellness and beauty company. She's on a mission to educate and empower women on the go about the role of self-care and healthy lifestyle changes and choices to prevent and reverse disease using clean products they can trust. And also she's doing this with her speaking engagements and her best-selling book, Choose to Be Healthy. That's CHEWS. All right. We are excited to have Dr. LaFarra with us, and I'm bringing her up to the mic right now, live on the Sharvette Mitchell radio show. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, we are excited to have you. Listen, the love and the viewers are pouring on in. And so I just want to really jump in to this so that they can learn a little bit more about you and your backstory. So what got you into medicine? Let's start there.
Okay. I got into medicine. I finished medical school, say early 2000s. And I got into medicine. Initially, I wanted to be a doctor for similar reasons to other people. I wanted to help people, to be better. And I didn't like to see people suffer. And it became more of a personal mission to me that I was going to be a doctor when when I was around the age of 16, and
Oh,
I
wow.
started having issues with joint aches and feeling tired all the time, and
Wow.
come to find out, I had an autoimmune disorder. I didn't have a diagnosis. They didn't know exactly which one I had, but
Mm.
when I found out about it, it just totally changed the way that I thought about myself. I felt about myself, and I felt like I had to do something in order to improve the quality of my own life. And so that was motivation to me to go ahead and to continue on that goal that I had set for myself, continue on that track and pursue my desires to become a doctor. And so I didn't know any doctors
Wow.
personally. So I felt like I needed to get the best grades possible. And so I became valedictorian. I graduated at the
All
top of my
right. We
college.
clap it up for that.
Thank
Yes.
you. I graduated at the top of my college class, and I also graduated in the top 25%, top 25th percentile of my medical school class in Boston. And I had never been outside
Wonderful.
of the state, but I went up there because I felt like in order for me to grow and in order for me to become the person that people respected and people didn't really see as the same person that left, I had to go somewhere else to get away. And the whole
Mm.
time I was away becoming a doctor, one of the things in the back of my mind was that you have this autoimmune condition, and stress, my reception, okay, yeah, and stress is one of the things that make this autoimmune condition worse. And so in the back of my mind, even choosing which field I was going to go into, I needed to choose a field where I was going to be comfortable financially, but
Yeah.
I also needed to feel like I was not going to be really stressed and losing a lot of sleep. You know, things classic for doctors, the field of medicine. You know, your sleep
Yeah.
deprived, you're stressed. We have high suicide rates, and
Mm.
so I wanted to choose a career where I wasn't putting that extra stress on myself. So I chose pathology. I had
All
only
right.
met a pathologist before I decided to kind of pursue that in my last few months of medical school. I'd only met a pathologist once, and that was when I was shadowing an oncologist. And I said, the oncologists have such a sad job, you know, all their
Yeah.
patients, you know, they may be getting ready to die and they have to tell these people, you know,
Yeah.
their prognosis and how they may not be doing well. And then I end up choosing pathology. And the patients sometimes they have, which yeah, it was ironic to me that I ended up choosing that. But I chose that field because of the lifestyle that I would be able to have, not being so fast paced, and I would actually be able to sit
Yeah.
down and think about stuff and not be always running, like we think of other doctors doing. And so
Yeah.
yeah, so I chose to become a pathologist. And when I became a pathologist, my autoimmune condition, which had kind of left me alone throughout medical school, decided to come back. And so while
Ah.
I was in residency, I started having kidney stones.
Mm.
I started having problems with my vision. Um,
Oh, wow.
and that's when I finally received a diagnosis of sarcoidosis, because it was in both of my eyes, and both of my eyes had just turned red for I don't know what reason. And I ended
Wow.
up getting diagnosed. They said the ophthalmologist that diagnosed me said the only people that they knew of that had this diagnosis had sarcoidosis. And I said, I don't
Mm.
have that, because I had a
Right.
patient in Boston with that,
Wow.
and he did
Mm-hmm.
not do well. He had it in his lungs and he didn't do well. And
Mm.
so I decided that I needed to do something in order to change my course, because I wasn't going to end up like him, and I wasn't going to end up like the pictures that I saw in the books and like the people that I heard about with this diagnosis. And so
Wow.
I became a health coach. After a while, I wasn't working in the hospital for several months, and I opened up a restaurant and served
Wow.
healthy food. It was a Cajun restaurant, and it's just something about the way that food interact with food and talk about food and that made me realize, there's something to the food aspect of the health thing. So I dove deeper into that when I went to become a health coach, and
Mhm.
actually started doing cooking demonstrations and teaching people about healthy eating as part of my mission as a health coach, because
Wow.
I feel like in order to achieve the best health possible, you have to start before you get to a point of where the disease actually develops. You have to start
Yeah.
before you're actually sick. You have to be mindful of choices you make before you get sick. And if you are sick, you don't have to behave that way. You can actually reverse it. And I
Mm.
did learn a lot of that in health coaching school. And so it was kind of a little bit different coming from a medical background, where we give a pill for this and for this and this. Well, in health
Right.
coaching school, we learn to go for the root cause of whatever is causing whatever you're seeing the patient for, or whatever you're seeing a client for. And so I did write a book when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
in my
Oh, wow.
in my she's my third child, but my second pregnancy, because I had twins 10 years before that. So I
Oh,
was over
wow.
40, and I didn't even know I could have kids anymore. But when I realized I could, I was like, I want to do that because um, I just wanted to be able to share my life with another little baby. And so I was over
Yeah.
40. We wrote the book together. I turned the rough draft of the book in the morning I went to the hospital to have our
Oh,
so we
my
wrote the
goodness.
book together. We took our subspecialty recertification boards together and passed. Um, so and so I realized when I was pregnant that I needed to change, and even before I became pregnant, I needed to change what I put in, on, and around my body in order for
Mm.
me to create this holistic state of wellness that I saw some of the people achieving when I was going through health coaching school. And that's because a lot of the foods that we consume, we may assume that they're healthy, but
Yeah.
unless we're eating organic fruits and vegetables that actually agree with us, because everybody's different and not
Yeah.
everything is going to agree with everybody, then we're not doing everything that we can to create our best health. Unless we're reading our labels for our products that we put on our face, we're not doing everything we can to create our best health, because a lot of the
Mhm.
products that we use, and we trust manufacturers
Yeah.
to give us safe stuff to put on our face. But I was actually I was actually looking at a label for some foundation that I really like and a lot of people really like. And I looked at the label and it had something called parabens in it. Now, if you
Hmm.
don't know what those look like because the names are so long, you won't know that. But parabens are linked to hormone disruption. And
Mm.
a lot of us have issues with hormone disruption. A lot of us have that's a source for some of our health problems. Things like
Wow.
estrogen disruptors, and we talk about fibroids in the African American community. A lot
Yeah.
of those conditions are hormone sensitive, and so if we watch, because we can't get rid of everything in our environment, we're not going to
Right.
be OCD like that, to that extent, that's crazy. But if we are mindful to the point to where we can, cut out things here and there, then that can make a big impact in a lot of our overall health. And so
Wow.
for me, knowing that I already started out with like at least one strike, I wanted to make sure that I could do something, and so I did change what I ate.
Mm.
Um, I'm gluten free, and that has tremendously cut out all my flare ups. I most of my flare ups. if I don't sleep, which that's a challenge for me, that's like a self-care thing, it's a sleep hygiene
Uh-huh.
thing that I really don't do well that I'm supposed to do. But if I don't sleep well, I could get a flare up. But I cut out gluten, and I was able to come off the steroids that I had been on and off for probably 20 years. Uh,
Wow.
Probably 20 years on and off of steroids, more so in my 30s. I was on a lot of
Okay.
steroids. So I had the big puffy cheeks.
Yeah.
Um, I, I didn't eat as much as I wanted to.
Mhm.
And I ended up kind of tricking my body and drinking lots of fluids and trying to stay away from sugar. So I didn't blow up like, steroids can do people.
Normally do.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so I was doing things like that even then, to try to alter um, the course of the medicines that sometimes we have to take through
Yeah.
conventional medicine. I was trying to alter the course of what those would do to my body by doing natural things and finding out things that I could do to not have to take so much of those conventional medicines. And so that's when I got into changing the food and changing actually the beauty products. Now that I knew better, I realized that there are clean beauty companies out there.
Hmm.
There aren't that many created by doctors. There
Ah,
definitely aren't that
which
many created by African American female doctors. And
yes, which makes you different and stand out
yes,
in the market. And I do want to just capture. This is so good. All right, you all throw up some hearts. I see you coming in. Throw up some hearts for Dr. LaFarra, and thank you. Wow, this is such great information. Sherry is saying changing her eating habits changed her life. She hasn't been on any medication in several years. So just some people testifying and witnessing as they are listening. And I love you said so much. So first of all, I recognize you have scrubs on. So like literally, you're wearing you're just coming from wherever. So we
I'm
recognize you're
still at work.
oh, you're still at work. So we reckon like true, medical doctor here, medical physician, those that are listening in. And so I love there was so much you said, and I love that we gave the background because a lot of times with companies, we don't know where your company is going to be multi-million, down the road at some point it might already be, but people will be able to hear this and hear the story behind this brand that you are building. And so at 16, recognizing I'm want to do something different and I want to change the path, not knowing or seeing any doctors and then going into this field. I just want to recognize that early on you were on to such greatness. And so when did you decide, what was the catalyst to say, okay, I want to create my own luxury skincare brand, clean brand? What was the catalyst?
Okay. So the catalyst for that was, a lot of times we feel like we have to compromise. We have to choose between, if we're going to try to live clean, we have to choose between looking good and feeling good,
Mm,
because a lot of the clean products might not work as well as the regular products. They may not
yeah.
get the makeup off as easily as the products that aren't clean. And so if you want to be clean, you gotta, work a little bit harder at it to use the products. You gotta be committed to it. And I
Yeah.
wanted to make that not so much of a choice that we had to choose. We should be able to do both. We should be able to, if we want to look good, we should be able to look good. And then we shouldn't, in a few years, have to worry about, "Well, I was wearing this makeup every day. I got all this buildup. Who knows how much of these chemicals I have in my body." We shouldn't have to
Yeah.
choose between. We shouldn't have to make those types of decisions, and we shouldn't have to be detectives when we're buying stuff. But honestly, like, eh, whatever we consume, we should really be conscious and mindful of whatever we're consuming. So I wanted to provide products where we can kind of let our guard down a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but we still know we look good, and
Uh-huh.
we're also gonna feel good too, in the near future, because that's taking down that toxin load that we're building up, those things that we're putting on our bodies. People always talk about doing detoxes. Well, people talk about
Yeah.
doing detoxes because daily we're putting things in, on, and around us that are accumulating in our bodies, and we're trying to help. We're trying to help our liver and our skin and our kidneys to get
Yeah.
rid of those things. Well, if you don't put them in there, if they don't have to work as hard, and you don't have to work as hard to do like a water fast or whatever kind of detox you're trying to do to get rid of them. And so that motivated me to start a clean beauty company, because like I
Awesome.
said, I already got at least one strike. So I'm trying to push that back even further, so I don't really have a strike. And so I
Yeah.
wanted to create products where I felt comfortable, that someone had looked at what was in the products, or what they were going to put in the products before they put them out there to people, and before they, before, and so safety wasn't an afterthought. Like, okay, yeah, it's safe. No, before I put it out there, I made sure that if I am working with the lab, or if I'm working with it at home and I make it, I know what I put in it, and I know what I didn't put in it. And what I didn't put in it is just as important to me as what I put in it, because to me,
Wow.
I'm helping. That's the doctor in me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm helping keep people safe, through beauty. I know people might not have understood that when I first said that that's what I actually wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I feel like that's an extension of me, taking the oath to keep people safe and to do no harm.
Wonderful. And so I know that you have magnetic lashes.
Mhm.
So was that the first product that you decided to create? And tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, I do have on some magnetic lashes.
All right.
My own lashes fell out.
Beautiful. Oh, they fell out.
After,
Okay.
yeah, I was one of those people that my mom, she was like, you don't look as lively when you don't do anything to your eyes. Your eyes wake you up, and I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, you're right, but
Uh-huh.
mascara is making my eyes turn pink and burn. And so she's like, why don't you get some of those extensions? And I was like, okay, I'll get some extensions. I got some extensions. And after like the second round of extensions, I didn't have any more lashes. And so then
Mm-hmm.
I started using, like, I had come across some magnetic lashes, but they were big, and like they weren't
Okay.
comfortable. And like I was wearing them to work because I had lashes.
Uh-huh. We
And
love our
they're like,
lashes.
where you
I'm a
going?
lash girl.
Where you going? I'm like, work.
It's like you're really
So I was
glam for
like,
work, Dr.
okay.
LaFarra.
Well, I like having lashes. They do make me look awake, and like, even if I'm tired, they kind of hide the, puffy eyes a
Uh-huh.
little bit. So I said, I want to create my own line of magnetic lashes. But that's not that, creating those, it still created a problem, because putting the liner on, the magnetic liner, also created the problem of now you got to get it off, because you shouldn't sleep in it.
True. Right.
So, and that comes back to the clean beauty products. It's like using those clean beauty products. You're going to be, a lot of them, you're gonna be sitting there scrubbing, and doing all that scrubbing and rubbing could predispose you to getting wrinkles on your eyelids and around your eyes, because you're tugging on that gentle skin. And so you
Mm.
shouldn't have to sacrifice and compromise, your beauty and your youthful look, because you're
Yeah.
you're trying to have lashes. And so that's why I said I need to create a system. I want something that you can put on, and then when you get ready to take it off, you still look, you still look youthful, and you still
Yeah.
have healthy skin, healthy youthful skin, and radiant skin. And so that's when I decided that I wanted to do a luxury clean beauty line. I wanted to have a chic look to it. Um, I mean, I am a doctor. I like nice
Yeah.
looking stuff. So,
Absolutely.
and I'm gonna put a lot of time and effort into what goes into it. So that's what motivated me to do the lashes, and plus with the
Okay.
lashes, it's not like I do have a serum coming out, a growth serum, but
Oh, okay.
you have to wait at least 4 to 6 weeks to see results with that. With the lashes, it's
Mm.
like I didn't have lashes this
Instant.
morning, but like I got some now.
Right.
And so it's
I
like
love
I
it.
was giving people a quick win with the magnetic lashes that they wouldn't be able to have if they were, trying to grow them out naturally and use mascara. And what if they were sensitive like me? And so
Yeah.
that's what motivated me to start with the magnetic lashes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I want to capture Jermika comment over on LinkedIn. So much powerful and helpful information. We'll definitely share with family and friends. Thank you so much for popping in and listening and sharing. And while they are listening, where are the best places for them to go to connect with you, to buy product, all that good stuff?
Okay. So you can get the lashes right now. They are on I won't say pre-sale anymore, but I haven't officially launched until October 20th. So you can get
Okay.
those at lashes.lafarra.co. Like, okay, you got it up there.
You got it right
Um,
on the screen. Screenshot it.
you got it up there already. And so right now I have 3 lashes up, and so
Oh,
I have 2 mink lashes up, and I have a vegan mink lash up right now because not everybody wants to wear mink, even though they're cruelty free.
mhm.
Um, and so right now that's what's up on that site. My other site should have been up yesterday, but they're working on it. Like the good site, like with all the stuff that's going to be on it, like the remover and all that.
Oh, wow.
That'll be up later this week.
Okay.
But I'll be officially launching October 20th. And so right now you can get, with your lashes, you can get, some people call it a spoolie. I call it a lash brush. But you can get that, and you get the gold applicator. You have to get your liner separately. But you can get all of that right now on the site. And so that's where you can get that right now. And you can follow
Okay.
me at you can follow my company at LaFarra Co on Instagram. You can follow me at Dr. LaFarra MD on all social media.
Wonderful. And if you are on Sharvette.com, we have Dr. LaFarra's full bio. Also, social links are there. If you also are listening to this in the podcast version, just look at the show notes. If you're on Apple, iTunes, and all that, Stitcher, look in the show notes. You'll have all the great connection points right there. Now, Dr. LaFarra, some people remember kind of like the traditional lashes that have glue, and then you do the lashes. Some people may be new to this magnetic lash trend or feel. Can you share, bless you, can you tell the difference of why magnetic is a better, more clean option than perhaps the traditional glue and strip of lashes?
Yes. So with the glue, and the glue is part of the reason why I don't have lashes. But with the glue, with the individual extensions, a lot of the glue has something in it called formaldehyde. Now, the type of doctor that I am, I work around formaldehyde pretty much every day, and that's the substance that we use to preserve organs. That's not what you want around your eyes. That can create, if you're not already allergic to it, that can create allergies. And so now you're going from a position where you're sensitive maybe to something to where you can't get near it at all. You can't even inhale it because you have an
Mm,
allergy to it. You don't want to put yourself at risk of being in that position by using either formaldehyde or something called formaldehyde releasing agents, which when it gets put onto your skin, and that's in some mascaras, and that's
mm,
also in some makeup removers and some other products. You just have to know how to recognize those names. But so that's one reason you want to avoid a lot of the lash extensions. Now
mm.
I do believe they're starting to make some of the glue for the extensions without those substances, but that's one reason. The other reason
Okay.
is that those little extensions weigh a lot, and you put a lot of stress on your lashes. And if you ever noticed, if you had extensions, when they come back really small, and they come back really, they have to grow to be strong. And so some people just come back in like 2 3 weeks and put another one right on top of those. And so what that's doing is, if you ever notice someone who had braids really tight, and who wears
Yes.
heavy braids and stuff, their hair starts to thin out, and it could create something called traction alopecia. And you get something similar in your lashes, where you're losing your lashes. And if you keep traumatizing them, if you're one of the people whose lashes are sensitive to the weight of those lashes,
Yeah.
then your lashes might not come back if you keep doing that. So that's another reason why you don't want to use those heavy products. So it's a couple reasons. One, they could be heavy, and two, for the chemicals. And also in mascaras, like I was mentioning, you also could have formaldehyde releasing agents in your mascaras.
Wow.
You also could have those in some of your eyeliners. So it's just important to make sure that you know what's in your products, and also with some of the liners and adhesives, the glue adhesives. When you're taking them off, you could rip out your lashes if you're
Yes.
you could rip out your lashes, and that's not a good thing either. If you repeatedly rip something out, it may also not come back after
Yeah.
a while. And so with the magnetic lashes, what you do is you have a magnetic liner, and the magnetic liner has a little bit of iron oxide in it. And it's not as much iron as, say, a piece of metal, but it's enough that it's going to create. So for my lashes, they have
Hmm.
little magnets on them. Now I could take them off, but I don't want to have to put them back on.
Right. Don't do that. Don't do
Devil.
that.
And then I was like, okay, that's okay. It's not that hard. But it creates a surface for those little magnets to grip onto that liner. And so they just snap on or jump on, some people say, or pop on, and you're ready to go. You just make sure you put them where you want them to be. If they're not quite where you want them to be, you can adjust them, because they're not they're not an adhesive. They're actually
Yeah.
no, I'm not gonna take they're not an adhesive, they're actually magnetic. So you can have, some people do make magnetic liners that are actually more adhesive than they are
Mm.
magnetic, and that's something you
Uh-huh.
have to watch out for too. And so you can stick them on there, and now when you get ready to take them off, you're like pulling, like, oh my goodness, like you're in the same boat as if you had bought an adhesive liner almost. So
Right.
it's just important to pay attention to those sorts of things when you're choosing your products, especially around your eyes.
Yes, such good information. Oh my goodness, our time has flown by, and I want to honor your time absolutely. So we have right on the screen, you have the link to go check it out. There's some videos, I believe, on the current site, and then look for the complete, release of everything. And so the final question I have for you: the goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. What continues to motivate you?
What continues to motivate me is that I know that what I'm doing is helping me, and it's
Yeah.
helping me to defy what other people thought I would be like, having a
Hmm.
diagnosis of autoimmune disease. So
Yeah.
that's what's motivating me. What's motivating me is that I'm going to be here to see my kids grow up, and I'm going to be running around with them like, other parents. And what's also motivating me is I know that there are other people who also have illnesses, who have chronic illnesses, not even necessarily autoimmune diseases, but that receive a diagnosis and feel like their life is going to be altered more negatively than
Mhm.
positively. And that's not necessarily the case. And so that's what motivates me, is showing people that you don't have to be a diagnosis. You
Oh,
can
that's
be
good.
who you are. You just happen to have a diagnosis that may make you be a little bit more cautious sometimes, but that doesn't define you. So that's what motivates me, is being able to show people that.
Wonderful. So well said. I heard Brene Brown mention, she's a great author and speaker and all of that, mentioned that her daughter was at school. And I don't know, she's school aged, and they were doing painting or whatever. And the teacher walked up and said, "Oh, whatever her name is, you're a mess. This is a mess." And so the little girl stopped her and said, "No, I'm making a mess, but I am not a mess. And
That's right.
so I think that is great, great, great. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Congratulations on the official launch. And we know that you've already had some great media exposure and essence and all that already. And so we're just excited to continue to see where you are going in LaFarra Co. So thank you for stopping by the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome. All right, listeners. Wow. So much amazing information. Again, share out the video version, the podcast version. Thank you for those that have been hanging out with us, commenting. We see you. We appreciate you here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. And again, a reminder that registration is closing October 12th for the 6th annual pop-up conference for women entrepreneurs that is taking place November 4th for VIP only, November 5th and 6th. That's a Friday and Saturday. Come be with us here in Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia. Register at heygirlhey.biz, not .org, not .com. heygirlhey.biz. Do that before October 12th. And I'm super excited for everyone that tuned in and just caught the show. And I'm your lovely, amazing host, Sharvette Mitchell, and I'm going to see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m. interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.